Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. We are joining our Mercury flyby mission. Here it is about to change SOI. We just have to make a very small correction to bring our periapsis out to something appropriate and bring us within range of our mapping equipment so we can make another small mapping pass. I've already screwed up this node just a little bit. There's our engine light taking care of most of it. Oh, yeah, delete on, I think I went just a little bit early on that one. Oops. Oh well, no big deal. We're just gonna try to round it out here with some RCS. Yeah, just a little tappy tap tap. No big deal. Alright, that looks a little bit better, and I think that periapsis is fairly appropriate. Just get in here and make a quick check. Yeah, Mercury, focus view, thank you. Oh yeah, that looks great. We're not too far off at all. 102. So yeah, we're gonna go with that. That's great. All right. Yeah, let's bring up our mapping stuff here. Huh. I mean, this is our third flyby for this spacecraft. Oh, well. Maybe we should turn on the mapping equipment. That might help, but it's going to take several minutes for any command to reach the spacecraft. But yeah, I thought it would at least show us what we'd already mapped so far. But, you know, oh well. Oh yeah, it's not going to appear in queued actions. Oh well. It will be up here in Flight Computer. Okay, yeah, 10 minutes. Wow, that's a little longer than I thought it was going to be. Alright, no big deal. So, yeah, we're about an hour and some change away, so it'll get turned on well before we reach our periapsis. I'm just going to go ahead and try to set up the signal delay so that we can try to radio in some science, provided, of course, that we're flying over a new and unique biome, which I'm really hoping we are. So I'll just go ahead and start programming these things in. There we go. Okay. There we are. Log, thank you. No, yeah, don't forget your magnetometer. And I already did this one, but I'm going to do it again since I know it's high space only. I'm not sure if 100 kilometers is going to count as low space. I really don't think it is. Oh yeah, let's get our analyze telemetry. Definitely not range safety. Okay, all that stuff's set up. Now we really just have to fly it on by. So yeah, I can get rid of Kerbal alarm clock. I don't need you anymore, although I'm going to leave my mapping stuff up for a second because I just want to see. Wow. Oh, we're being kicked out of time warp. Oh, look at that. Suddenly we have mapping data. Awesome. There's our two previous flybys. That's that little thin spot there is where we were too low for the mapping equipment to really work. Not a big deal. It's kind of amazing that we've got 3.1% off of only 2 flybys. But looks like we will definitely be hitting someplace new and unique that our mapping equipment has not picked up yet. That's always a good sign. Wow, that looks great. Alright, let's move you over here. Bring up Flight Computer and just double check our timing. Yeah, well, there's no real good place to put this that doesn't obstruct some part of this that I really just want to look at. Alright. Oh, that's awesome. And goodbye, sun. So we no longer have a connection with Earth. Mercury is blocking our signal, so we're just going to have to wait until we get around the other side of the planet before we can radio in anything of any interest. But we've still got a couple minutes until our flyby, or until our radio in commands start happening. And we should start mapping any minute now. Boom, there it is. Alright, we are mapping something new and unique, thankfully. I'll take it, you know. Well, good. We are collecting new data. We're already up to 3.7%, up from 3.1. So it's a good thing I don't have a contract to do a multispectral scan of Mercury, because I would have failed it so many years ago. The spacecraft's been up for quite some time now. And although I think with the heavier, I think this went up on a DN1A. I could be wrong, but with the heavier capacity of the 5B, I think we could actually do something that would do a single insertion burn into Mercury without the need for many gravity assists, although that's probably just wishful thinking. Alright, it looks like we've cleared this biome before, so I don't think we're going to get any new and unique science other than our biome scan. But we're just going to keep stockpiling that biome scan data until we have a much more comprehensive look at the planet. We're already up to about 4%. I'd say that was this flight's primary goal, was to just map the surface. And although it'll never achieve orbit, I have not let that deter me from trying to map the surface in the most inconvenient and time-consuming way possible. Just, you know, whatever works for you. Alright, there's sunrise. It looks like our data collection is complete. We are now out of range of the scanner. We got up to 4.1%, so we mapped exactly 1% more of the surface. So, you know, only like, oh no, we're up to 4.7%. Still, we've got probably 93 more flybys until we can map the whole thing, provided we get no repeat or overlapping flyby patterns, which is probably not the case. And given my inaccuracies, it'd probably take about 150 flybys to map this whole thing. You know, the series might run that long. You never know. Alright, well, we're going to bring up Kerbal Alarm Clock. The next thing we're going to get to here is our Saturn orbiter. I'll just go ahead and hit the jump to ship and warn you that we are not actually going to be jumping directly to our Saturn orbiter telescope probe. That we instead have some other things that I wanted to attend to first before taking care of that and wasting the several days until it comes across its node. So we're actually going to go to the VAB. I'll see you there. Ta-da! Here we are back in the VAB. So last episode we did a test run of this prototype crude Mars lander, and it did not work very well. So I'm going to be making a lot of changes. See, this delta core is actually our root part. So that's how it's able to fly autonomously, is because that was the first part picked, and so it always runs the controls through there instead of through the crew cabin. Although it seemed like we were definitely getting the benefit of the avionics tonnage on the crew pod. So there's that. So basically I think the tug stage was too heavy and it was resting on a docking port, and that was creating the weak joint that was causing it to wobble. That is my operational theory based on everything else that I've seen and been able to fix with the tug modules. So basically we're just going to build it out a new tug, and that looks absolutely horrible, but we will need some struts, I'm assuming anyway. I mean, they don't weigh a whole lot, so why not try to get this thing strutted up a bit. We'll do some cross-member torsion struts too, just in case something decides it wants to torque a bunch. That looks terrible. And really, I think the 4 AJ10 route is a bit wasteful. So I think maybe we're just going to do a Apollo service propulsion engine. The new plan for this tug that I kind of realized while I was in the middle of brainstorming ideas out last episode, while we're recording anyway, was to leave the tug on the lander itself during its descent into the atmosphere for landing, and then use it to assist the descent stage as far as slowing down, which I think is a good plan, but makes the tug completely disposable. So it doesn't need its own docking ports. We're just never going to do that. I did, however, have to get rid of the parachute ring because I feel like it was another weak joint close to the heat shield that we didn't really want to deal with. So other than part mirroring being a little weird for me today, I'm going to put parachutes on their own little decoupling mechanism here so we don't have to lug the weight of them all the way back up to space, although we will have 4 reserve chutes attached to the pod itself just in case everything goes absolutely terribly awry. So I'll just go ahead and plug in some deployment data for them now, including a set of drogues that will hopefully fire off fairly high in the atmosphere when we're still moving. Well, hopefully we'll be slowed down enough by then. Maybe we'll even still be under the weight of that service propulsion system, although a few other changes have had to be, a few things have had to be sacrificed, really. I'm going with more Kevlar chutes, and I'm going with more chutes than I had on the initial design. So, alright, chutes are done, so we can go ahead and start trying to take care of the tug again. So we'll just tuck that in. Oh yeah, I left some RCS ports on there, didn't I? Okay, let's let's put those there since we can't have forward firing thrusters in that location. Alright, make sure they're configured for Aerozine and N204. There we go. Make sure these are configured for Aerozine and N2O. And that does produce a rolling torque. Interesting. I'm still not very used to RCS build aid, so I'm trying to just figure my way around it, but I don't want to add more weight, especially to the ascent stage. That's where it's going to affect the most things, but it seems like the only place where I can add a set of thrusters to try to even that out. But also, I know I can dock things that are horribly built, so I'm kind of at the, well, I'll just deal with it kind of stage. And also deciding how much weight this thing can really tolerate. We're a little bit over on our margin for tonnage as far as what the DN5B will be able to throw at Mars. So it is with a heavy heart that I have decided that we will fuel not all, but a good portion of the lander on station. So it will probably require the launch of another liquid fuel tug to meet with it at our Mars station and refuel it before it makes its descent. So, you know, there's that. But giving it a little assistance on that independent power front is nice. Good, cheap, lightweight solar panels. We'll just cut a little bit more weight and give it a paint job. And, you know, why not just go with something simple and high contrast. There we go. That's not too bad. Yeah, I'll take it. And also those empty fuel tanks will allow us to move the center of mass forward or backward depending on our reentry angle. So that'll help us stay stable. But I will check my staging, and then I will just go ahead and meet you guys out at Saturn. So see you in just a second. Alright, so here we are out at Saturn, and much closer this time. Like, wow, that's a pretty amazing sight. And so we're about a day away, 1 day, 11 hours from our burn to insert into Saturn's orbit. Let me just zoom this out. And life will probably be easier if I focus view on Saturn. There we go. So that is our proposed burn. It's certainly not going to happen because that's going to require about 10 kilometers per second in delta V to get our orbit within, or at least mostly within the rings. So I'm actually going to delete that node and plot something that's a little bit more accurate. Our telemetry may have shifted a bit since we entered into Saturn's SOI. These things are kind of normal to see a little indiscrepancies. What was I looking at there? No, okay. For a second I thought we had like a flyby encounter with something, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. It surely does not. So there's orbital insertion after about 800 meters per second. We're going to try to go, yeah, about 1600 is what we've got, which puts us still way the hell out there. Interesting. Alright, so we'll just, an orbit like that would be nice, I think. I think that would keep us away from any moons that might throw us off. Yeah, Dione's not that big, so I don't think that would be close enough to get a gravity slingshot there. That's still almost 3,000 meters per second, which is excessive, to say the least. Now, the fun part is that I'm going to fire this engine manually. It's got about a minute's worth of fuel, and will displace 815 meters per second. And then we've got this solid rocket motor and this separation that we will have to toggle through flight computer. So I'm going to let us get a little bit closer. We do have a signal delay of almost 5,000 seconds. 5,000 seconds. Man, we are really, really far away. And of course the two tanks up here on the probe are going to play the "you can't click on me" game. That is okay. We do have fuel there. I think I emptied everything, including the batteries, from this one. Although it doesn't make sense that it wouldn't let me even still run telemetry. Yeah, okay, good. So there is no fuel in there that we have to worry about. I do want fuel on the probe unlocked for this burn, because we're going to need the stability provided by those RCS thrusters to make sure that solid rocket motor doesn't kick us off course. So I'm just going to go ahead and open those up now. Nope, wrong one. Nope, staging menu, now back to the map. Alright, so I'm going to get us closer, and then we're going to start setting up our flight computer. Our other Saturn mission, the Saturn moon flybys, which I don't know if it got officially named. I'm going to have to go back and look at the launch of the build-a-sode video for it and see if I just forgot to change the name and then forgot about the name entirely. Has made it to Saturn's SOI. There's nothing really interesting, no new science to gather, but it's on a course to fly by here, where we'll make a burn to insert it into orbit. Of course, that will be coming by later. And then another burn to flatten out its, basically to put it on the plane with most of Saturn's moons. Yeah, I think the only offender is Titan, way out here on that ridiculous inclination that we're not going to worry about. But that will all be coming much, much later. Well, much as in maybe an episode or two down the road. So let's go get ourselves to within a couple of hours of our burn and just watch this very beautiful approach to Saturn. Alright, yeah, 13 hours or so, this should be good. Alright, so our node is in 13 hours, 57 minutes. Yeah, we will burn that far ahead of the node. So in 13 hours, 57 minutes, we are going to decouple this and then activate. Oh, I activated it twice. Well, it's not like it can be turned off, so there's that. And we've already got RCS fuel unlocked on our probe itself. So now all I have to do is start the burn a little more than a minute before this timer runs out. I'll take a cheater quick save. Okay. And maybe a picture, you know, for the books. That's a pretty good one, I'd say. Although, of course, it'll look better once we're done with all the... Oh, crap. How long does this engine burn for? Man, burn time would be good to know. Oh, here it is. 24 seconds. So now that we're way more than 24 seconds out, I can just reduce the burn time, or the delay time. 56 minutes has it been? 1 hour 21 plus 12:35. It's like 32. No, that's 12. Oh boy. I added the hours to the minutes because I'm dumb. It's 55 minutes and some seconds. Did I add an extra? Yeah, I added MM. Alright, 13 hours, 56 minutes. Oh, great. Yeah, let's play the You Can't Click on Me game now. There it is. Decouple. And that will free our probe from the SRB kick stage. Okay. Nothing else to do now except get close to our burn time. I should probably be watching this a little more carefully. So this will be our first thing ever to orbit Saturn, and this is the first time I've ever put something in orbit of Saturn. So I'm pretty excited about this, and we're going to fly in between the rings, which is something apparently somewhat daring. Alright, so at about the 2-minute mark... Wow, that is really cool. Oh, I should have been doing the radio in command. Duh, we're going to get low space science. Orbiter radio in. I'll just... it'll happen in about an hour. So I'm just going to let this kind of happen. Try to hit the radio in command again manually when we're a bit closer. Yeah, I'm just letting that counter get down to about an hour 15 or so. So hopefully we can get some high pass and some low pass science just right here on this initial entry into orbit, which would be fantastic. And Saturn does in fact have biomes. We are currently above Saturn's North Pole storms. Ooh. Orbiter radio in. 1.37 hour. Oh, well, we'll be significantly past the node at that point, but not that it truly matters. Oh, we've got some stuff to radio in. Move out of the way, flight computer. Atmospheric pressure scan while in... Oh, wow, we're already in space near Saturn. Holy crap. 72, awesome, that got added. The surface looks really close from here. Does it? How can you tell? That's interesting. 72 more science. Radio plasma wave scan will net us a 108 science. Let's transmit that in. Awesome, we are racking up the points. They're actually giving us credit for stuff again. 60 science for the magnetometer scan. Okay, 54 science for, I forgot already, telemetry analysis. And we're getting the North Pole storms biome. That's awesome. Okay, and temperature scan will give us another 72. Perfect. Geiger-Mueller, another 72. Added. Micrometeorite, now another 72. Gravity scan will net us 60, and that's our scientific load. Alright, so now we've just got about 54 minutes or so to kill until we have to do our orbital insertion burn. Oh boy. Look at that. Just look at that. Wow. Okay. I have to pay attention to things. I'm sorry, I need my instrumentation. Oh boy. God, wouldn't this just be terrifying? Oh man. This is really my first time seeing it like this ever. This is amazing. Okay. back to business. For reals this time. 20 minutes. Why did it kick us out of time warp? Oh. Node warning. Was that for me? Is that for this ship? I deleted the alarm. No. Well, yes, it was for this ship. Alright, 4 minutes. 3 minutes. Alright, 2 minute mark. Let's get angled to node. There we go. Wow. Alright, 2 minutes, 8 seconds. Make sure all of our fuel is unlocked. I'm pretty sure I centralized it all onto that tank just for this very purpose. Fantastic. So at a little before the 1 minute mark. So let's just be bold and use time warp, get us a little closer. Alright. Ullaged. Ignition. We are lit. Okay. It's all in Flight Computer's hands now. So here's hoping. All we have to do is stay on target. Does it look better from this side? Oh, but man, wow, that is cool. Alright, 15 seconds of, 14 seconds of runtime, and then our decoupler fires. We are in orbit. Uh-oh, I think I may have timed this just a little bit off. Help it burn through. Okay. How about we spin this up just to help us out? 23 seconds off from firing our kick stage. Lock our fuels for the time being, because man, we were burning through it. Yeah, a little bit of wobble off our node. This was ill-conceived, but alright, engine is lit. Does not look like it's going to overthrust and spin us around, so... Oh, I could be wrong. Oh boy, I could be wrong. Or I could be off balance. Oh boy. Oh, that was ill-timed, but okay. We made it. Let's get pointed back at the node. Alright, and we'll kill the throttle so we're not just burning through all of our fuel. Let's take a look at what we've got. Okay, that's not too bad. I think we can deal with that for right now. We'll go ahead and kill the node. Fantastic, we're in orbit! Yes! Man, does that look just absolutely amazing. I'm sorry I keep doing this to you guys. Just, you know, look at the sun shining through the rings. There's us. We have come a very long way. Alright, let's go ahead and warp to our next radio in, because it looks like we're definitely going to be getting a different biome. We're in space near, and we're almost equatorial at this point. And we've got about 6 minutes until we get our radio command. Oh boy, and we're going to pass right through the rings. We should turn so that any little tiny things we hit will just be will hit the dish and not some of our more sensitive equipment behind it. I think that's the proper approach. I think our dish can take a couple of holes here and there, right? And for half a second there, the rings were gone. Alright, 40 seconds until our radio in. There it is. We can get rid of you, flight computer. Atmospheric scan, not biome specific. Orbital telescope is biome specific. Let's radio that in. Oh, I can't see. There we go. 63 science added. Nothing on the radio plasma or the magnetometer. Telemetry analysis will net us another 54. Man, we're getting paid. Fantastic. And this is a really high gain antenna. We're getting lots of, like, the transfer rate is amazingly fast. Well, 9 MITs. I guess our data packets aren't that large either. Here's one at 10 MITs for the gravity scan. Yeah, okay. That's our second load of science here at Saturn. Let's go ahead and, well, can I toggle these things manually? When will we be above the poles again? An hour, 7 minutes. So let's go ahead and just hit the command now. It'll take an hour 37 to get there, but hopefully we'll have another biome that we can examine. Wow. Yeah, South Equatorial Band, still 50 minutes to go. That is awesome. Okay, there's our radio in. Still space near, that's fine. Telescope from Saturn's south temperate band, so we're not quite at the pole. But I wonder if it's like several other planets where the two pole, north and south pole biomes are actually the same biome. So if you get one, you've got them both. Alright. Getting a couple things to pay out here. Nice. Yeah, good couple hundred science. There we go. We were like 15k when we started there, 1,500. So we've netted at least 1,000 science just on these 3 radio ins for the spacecraft so far. That is definitely a worthwhile payout, considering we haven't even completed our first orbit, and nor will we for another 2 days. But that's not bad. I think we can manage that. So cool. All right, and I guess next on our agenda was the Saturn moon flyby. So that's not for another 85 days. That's incredible. Since he's in the SOI, just way out here. But we will probably be getting to that next episode. So thank you so much, everyone, for hanging out. I do appreciate it. And I will see all of you in the next one. So until then, see you later.